January 2009, Sailability Auckland hosted the Kiwi Cup World Championship in Auckland. The event drew over 28 international sailors in a regatta that for the first time allowed both able and disabled sailors to compete against each other in a World Championship event.
It will cater for 2 World Championships, so there's the open class and the IFDS, which is the International Federation of Disabled Sailors.
I guess it's all about wanting other people to experience that, that buzz and that excitement of taking part in a big regatta.
Well, we're down on the wharf now and the sailors are slowly coming down, getting themselves rigged up with the gear they're going to need out on the water today. We've got the crew here are being briefed. They'll be helping the sailors into the boats.
Sailability just wouldn't be able to function without our volunteers. We rely on them hugely and we're indebted to them. Coordinating
these volunteers is Helen, a member of Sailability Auckland and a keen sailor herself.
I think I've probably got about 100. I mean, they don't all turn up every day, but over the week, there's probably about 100 names we've gone through.
Today I'm on dockside, so I'm going to be helping to winch the less able-bodied into the boats before they go, and then taking them out at the end of the racing.
This is using a bosun's chair, which is slightly different from the ordinary slings that we use, and she'll leave her bosun's chair on while she sails, and it makes it very easy just to lift her up and pull her out when we're finished for the day.
It was started by a man called Peter Cowley, and he was a doctor in Herne Bay. He started off taking people sailing in keelers, specifically people with disabilities. They took on the name of Sailability, which is an international organisation.
Sailability is considered to be the most active sailing organisation for people with disabilities in the world.
The regatta, the brainchild of Tim Dempsey, he raised the idea at one of our Sailability meetings.
In 2006 I went and sailed in the Mobility Cup in Vancouver, Canada, and was really coming home from that. I really felt that New Zealand could benefit from something like the Mobility Cup, which is Canada's largest event for sailors with disabilities. I mean, I just came back, I was buzzing and really wanted to get things up and going in Auckland. Started sailing when I was very young. I grew up in Rotorua, we lived next to the lake, so I was a member of the Rotorua Yacht Club. And as my disability progressed, I found it harder and harder to go sailing, so I'd given it up for a number of years. Then I read an article about Sailability Auckland, came down, had a go, and really realised what I'd been missing, for all those years.
Dave Ellerton from Taranaki has had a passion for sailing ever since he was a boy. Losing his sight has not deterred him from sailing, despite his disability, and continues to win sailing competitions around the world.
Lost my sight around about 6 years ago now, and of course I still wanted to sail, so I carried on sailing after I dragged myself out of the dumps. As you imagine, when you lose your sight, I've got peripheral vision,
yeah.
But when I get to here, there's nothing in the middle.
So when you're out in the water, how do you cope without being able to see it?
How do I know where the wind's coming from? I use all my other senses, my ears, my face, the back of my neck, because the wind should theoretically be coming straight down the course. When that happens, it's sort of easy because I just tack off, start counting, watch the other boats around me because I've got that peripheral, so I can see if there's any movement out there and where they're going, and sort of pick it up from there.
It's probably the first opportunity for the sailors to actually test each other out and see how they perform on the water, how they are going to be able to compete and set themselves up against each other for the rest of the week.
Hundreds of boats fill the harbour on the 169th Auckland Anniversary Day. It's a fitting occasion to begin the Kiwi Cup Regatta in the true city of sails.
Pretty amazing sight to look back down the harbour and see 22 Liberties out here for the first practice day. And pretty exciting day for me because it's been a year of hard work to get to this point. This is the little Kiwi that started it all, and this Kiwi sails with me in every overseas race that I've ever sailed in. It's a pretty exciting day for him too. I mean, I speak to a lot of groups and I say to them that, I'm here to talk to you about what I believe is one of the most accessible sports in the world, and what makes it accessible is the technology that we use. We use the Access Liberty, and that has some specific features which make it very accessible through the technology.
It is the revolutionary design of the Access Liberty that gives it stability and simplicity, with a surprising turn of speed.
They were designed with disabled people in mind, just like able-bodied people were in mind, and blind people or whatever. Someone who's never even been in a sailing boat before, you can be sailing instantly and sail out, turn around, come back, and someone can explain the technical side of it later on.
Chris Cook has been sailing since he was a child. As his paraplegia advances, Chris has been constantly looking for boats that will help him to continue sailing competitively.
Fantastic boat for everyone. That's the only boat I will sail as my paraplegia has increased. It enables so many people to sail that could not normally sail and to experience the freedom of sailing. There's nothing like it. I've been sailing since a child and I love it.
Hi, it's Peter Carr, Principal Race Officer for the Sailability Disabled World Sailing Championship. We're sitting out near Bayswater. Our objective is to give each race of approximately half an hour's duration.
How's the condition?
Perfect, actually. Nice breeze, sunny. It's going to be fun.
One of the more experienced sailors in the Kiwi Cup is favourite Joshua Mackenzie Brown, who is the current disabled world champion and here to defend his title.
I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to come across and sail the Liberty, because the Liberty doesn't get, especially New Zealand, it doesn't get much high-level competition. I mean, especially for me, it's a great opportunity just down the road for me to sail against all these great sailors. So I just hope that everyone has a great time and enjoys what New Zealand has to offer.
Barry Coates from the Gold Coast in Australia is an experienced able-bodied sailor, but he knows that out on the water he is equal to any of the disabled sailors in the Kiwi Cup.
I'm over here to have a bit of fun with the rest of the guys, some of whom I've sailed against in Europe and in Canada. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this lovely harbour that you've got here.
Andrew May has arrived here from Christchurch. It's the first time he sailed in the Liberty. He's also very experienced and is regarded as Joshua's biggest threat on the water.
This is the first time I've sailed these boats, so it's sort of a steep learning curve. So I think I've got a bit of a handle on them. I still a few things to figure out, but yeah, it's going pretty well so far. So.
It's the first time we've had a world championship of this type, and it's also the first time there's been a championship which is open, so you're going to see people with disabilities and without disabilities all racing in one fleet, so it's about taking the barriers away.
Genevieve has a communication difficulty, so I'm Genevieve's mother, Anne, and Genevieve is sailing because it's something that she found that she's able to do since she had her stroke. She had her stroke in 2001 and in 2005 she was introduced to Sailability in Western Australia. She used to sail when she was a teenager in a mirror. And you found something that you really enjoy?
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Yes.
Approximately 10 Access Liberties will be fitted with an electric servo sheet and helm winches, enabling sailors with severe disabilities to compete.
There will be a prize for the first place servo sailor, and what a servo basically means is it's winches that control pulling the sails in and out. If you don't have any arms, for example, you can put that up under somebody's chin so they can still operate it.
Bill Bradley's Access Liberty is also servo assisted, and this cutting edge technology has enabled him to take up sailing at the age of 70.
This is a great boat. Anybody can sail this. You know, I only took it up 3.5 years ago. You know, I thought there was only one sport I could try and qualify for Beijing, and that was sailing. So I took up sailing. Never sat in a boat in my life. If you can get in a wheelchair and drive a wheelchair, you can drive this.